Week 17 of fantasy football season. With the championship coming up in most fantasy leagues, here's a few tight ends. If you need help at the position, that might help owners this week. The first tight end, Chika Kwango with the Tennessee Titans. So Kwango, we've had a couple flash games here and there this season. I know a couple years ago he was a fantasy option for owners. Right now, available in tons of fantasy leagues in 94%. So the last few games, he's actually gone out there and put up some numbers. Week 15 versus Cincinnati, 8 catches, 59 yards. In that ball game on 10 targets. And then week 16, a big ball game in Indianapolis. I know a lot of garbage time, 9 catches, 81 yards, and a 2-point conversion on 11 targets. So week 17, a good matchup at division rival, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give up the 9th most fantasy points to tight ends on the season. So I think Chika Kwango, he could go out there. He could have a good ball game for this Tennessee Titan team. And like I said, they're playing catch-up in a lot of games, even though I believe this ball game is going to be a close contested game between these two division rivals. So right now, this week, Chika Kwango went ahead. The next tight end, Hunter Henry of the New England Patriots. So very surprising. He's still out there in 51% of fantasy leagues. Here's Hunter Henry, and he's arguably the number one target in the passing game for Drake May and this Patriot team. So the last few games, week 13 versus Indianapolis, 7 catches, 75 yards. Week 15 at Arizona, 4 catches, 25 yards. And week 16 at Buffalo, 4 catches, 39 yards, a touchdown. So week 17 versus his former team, the Los Angeles Chargers, coming to town. I know they don't give up a lot of fantasy points to tight ends, but like I said, anytime a tight end is a number 1 or 2 option in his offense, he's going to put up numbers. The target's going to be there, and that's exactly been the case this season with Hunter Henry. Even though, like I've said, this is not a good offense for the most part in New England. Next tight end, Tyler Conklin of the New York Jets. He's had a couple games here and there. Tyler Conklin, I know he's the 4th or 5th option in the offense behind Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, and then maybe Conklin is 4th in that pecking order. And the last couple weeks, the numbers haven't been all that great. Week 13 versus Seattle, 4 catches, 32 yards. Week 14 at Miami, 3 catches, 33 yards. Week 15, a goose egg at Jacksonville. And week 16 versus the Rams, 5 catches, 59 yards on 7 targets. He was a decent underneath route runner in that ball game versus the Rams, where the Jets lost 19-9. So week 17, tough matchup at Buffalo, but they're going to be trailing early and often and have to play catch-up. Is this New York Jet team. And the Bills, we just saw them give up a touchdown and a good game to Hunter Henry. So maybe Tyler Conklin could surprise, and he's out there in 89% of fantasy leagues. And the final tight end I looked at off the wire is Tyler Higbee of Los Angeles Rams. He's been out for the whole season recovering from a torn ACL, and he returned with a nice 11-yard touchdown jumping into the end zone. I know he's the 4th or 5th option on this offense as well, behind Cooper Kupp, behind Puka Nacua, obviously, and then Kyren Williams in the backfield. But Higbee, he's had some good games throughout his career, and he looked pretty healthy in that ball game. Even on the limited snap count, I think he could go out there and be a decent option in Week 17 versus the Arizona Cardinals, where obviously their defense can't stop anyone, and we just saw a Carolina Panther team go up and down the field and score 36 points versus them in Week 16 up in deeper leagues. Is a decent option this week. So that's a few tight ends I looked at off the wire for Week 17 of the fantasy football season.